Hello, Internet. I wanted to share with you guys my dream of owning a convenience store. So basically, I imagine this kind of hole in the wall spot, not too big, but big enough where there's like a couple aisles where you can get snacks. There'd be all like the standard snacks that you would get at a gas station or just a regular place. But then I also would want to have my own snacks that I like, like different kinds of things. Like I haven't fully figured out exactly how I would do it yet, but I want it to be a mixture of classic stuff and like stuff that maybe you haven't seen before, basically. Um, and then obviously the same thing with the drinks. Like there'd be all the classic sodas, the classic juice, whatever, water bottles, and then some other ones that maybe I like, or just different ones that you haven't seen before that you can try every once in a while. And maybe not right away, but at some point I would want to have like a deli counter where I can make sandwiches for people. So just sort of like basic bodega style sandwiches, or just like a deli, but more so like an East Coast deli. I live in Portland on the West Coast now, so part of me wants to kind of bring that here in a way that I think is like real. I don't want to get into that right now, but yeah, I just really like sandwiches. Like I like different kinds of sandwiches. I make pretty good sandwiches, so I think that'd be something cool to share with like a community. Um, and I definitely want it to be somewhere where there's a lot of foot traffic. So right now I live in Portland. Somewhere downtown would be ideal. Like just a small place downtown where there's a lot of people walking around during the day. Um, I just think that'd be really cool. It'd be like a really simple way to connect to the community and not have to make it like this big thing about myself, like some really like niche clothing store, or like just this very specific product that not a lot of people are going to be shopping for. Like, I don't know, like cutting boards, like a whole store just for cutting boards, like there's a lot of stuff like that in Portland, which is cool, but that's just not what I want to do. I want to have just like a store that anyone could go to. And because I've kind of like throughout my life living on my own, I've always lived in cities, and that's sort of how I stay connected to the community in a way, is like the local convenience store, the corner store, the bodega or whatever. Like that seems to be a place that I'm going to often. So I always end up kind of getting to know the people that work there and sort of befriending them in some ways, like just people that I feel like I support and I would have their support, in the community, the local community. And I just think that's something that like is kind of it's a I would want it to be just like a little thing that people know about. It doesn't have to be the most, I don't want this big space. I don't want to have to deal with like a bunch of like commercial real estate. I'm not really a business minded person, so if I was to do this, I would probably have to get help. People would have to help me do it, but obviously that would be the case. But I would even like to work at it too. Like I don't mind just like being a cashier and just checking people out, or even making sandwiches for people. Like that would be a sick job. Like, but unfortunately, those jobs usually don't pay well enough to like live off of, And the other thing about this too is like I don't have a lot of extra money right now. Like I have a day job, I'm living as I am, just like very comfortably. But I don't have a savings account or anything, so this is something that I'm not even like thinking about. I have other priorities in my life right now, so this is not something that I'm like thinking about doing anytime soon. Probably like in the next like 8 to 15 years is when I would like seriously consider doing it. But the other aspect about it, like I was saying with connecting to the community, is I think it'd be really cool in the convenience store to have like a section that has like local artists' artwork that you can buy, like maybe prints, and even like local bands can like sell their merch here, and maybe like physical copies of their music, or just kind of stuff like that, like get the local artists involved, because that's not something that you like think about or see often, is like just a regular convenience store but like tapped in with like the local art scene. And then I don't know how this would work logistically, but I think it would also be, I would love to provide like a DIY space for like either artists to have events or like bands to put on shows. Um, Again, logistically, because I want this place to be pretty small, so I don't know exactly how I would pull that off, but just another idea I had. I at least would want to have like the product in the store, like from the local artists and stuff. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Eventually, I think this will happen. It's just not, like I said, there's other things that I'm choosing. Sorry, I'm burping a lot right now. There's other things that I'm choosing to pursue and prioritize over this in my life. But eventually, I do believe that this will happen. And lately, I've been really kind of back in the vibe of like manifesting, and coming at it from a different approach. It's not just about like something that you want and thinking about it and hoping it happens, you know? It's like there's a deeper level where it's like I believe this will happen. I truly believe that this is going to happen in my life. Like I'm going to do this. I'm going to pursue this. Um, but I'm just not at that level yet. I haven't unlocked. There's like levels I feel like I have to unlock still before I get to that point. Like eventually I will get there, but I have other quests I got to complete before I get to that part of the storyline. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't really told many people about this. Not because I'm like embarrassed, but I feel like it's something that I've recently formulated as I've been thinking about this for a while, but this is something that I've recently been like, I could do this. It hasn't just been like an idea. It became like, this could be real. But on paper, it just seems like so silly. Like just a convenience store, that's all you want to do? And it's like, yeah, that is all I want to do. Like, it doesn't need to be more than that, you know? And I just think it'd be sick because a lot of people have this mentality of you got to work really hard in your youth so that when you're older you can just relax and you don't have to work and you can like retire or whatever. But I don't know if I like fully, if people want to do that, that's cool. Like I'm not against it as a concept, but for me personally, I worked hard in my 20s and in my teens. Like I went to school, I dropped out of school. I always had jobs. I was living on my own since I was, in my early 20s. Um, and I've always just had to work to live. And luckily, I've never had to like truly struggle. But there were times where I was like eating egg rolls for dinner every night, or just eating an entire bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and that's all I ate that day. You know what I mean? Like, but I never really kind of think about hustling now, or even like then and now. I never really had that in me. And I would rather have spent my time when I'm not working just enjoying my life and not like trying to gain capital for the future that may not even exist, you know? So with that said, I have no problem with being like in my 60s and just being a cashier. Like that would be almost a dream job. It's weird. I know it sounds weird, but like I really would, I think I would enjoy doing that. Even if I like get super successful with like my YouTube channel or my streams or my music or some other thing like creative on the internet and I make a bunch of money, like down the road, I'm still probably going to want to do that. Like that is actually something that sounds enjoyable to me. But being forced to do it for little money that you can't survive on and not having control of your environment, that's not what I want. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Now I'm just kind of rambling, but I just really wanted to share this idea with you guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know what your dream is, like what your ultimate dream is that you've recently decided is achievable. So that's it. See you guys in the next video.